So I've noticed a bunch of people online, they talk a lot about, I've written it down here, like sleep hacks, cold shower, alarm clock, coffee, morning routine, waking up at fucking 4 or 5 a.m., whatever the fuck. And that's not actually what I wanted to talk about today. Today I wanted to talk about how I became somebody who naturally wakes up early in the morning because it helps me become more productive and it helps me get done the things I want to get done. And all of this starts with, I used to think that waking up early was about like discipline and all this sort of shit, and basically like, oh, you have to force yourself to wake up in the morning and da da da. And it made me realize that when I was a kid, I used to wake up at like 6, 7 a.m. all by myself. And I used to be so obsessed with playing video games that I used to just hop on the computer and just play first thing in the morning, even when nobody in the house was awake yet. And this was extremely funny because now that I actually think about it, that's basically the same thing I do, but instead I just focus on my business. I wake up, I talk to people in my chat groups, I talk to people on there's like a program that I'm a part of, I talk to a bunch of people in there. I watch some daily videos that are important, like lessons to learn that I could use for today. I look at my daily checklist. I look at my schedule for the day. I eat my breakfast, all that sort of stuff to get ready to attack my most important tasks, right? And so I used to be the kind of guy who just woke up whenever he wanted to wake up. And by slowly going to bed much earlier, like first, like, I mean, I started doing a bunch of stuff, actually. I tested first waking up, like being disciplined to wake up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., all these sorts of things, testing that for a long period of time. And I felt really fucking tired all the time, so I'd end up taking a nap in the afternoon. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this, but it's not really sustainable. It's a bit shit. So instead of doing it unnaturally with discipline, what I ended up doing was I ended up creating a schedule for myself where I would go to sleep before 10 p.m. and then I would just wake up whenever I would wake up. And then after that, I would never go back to sleep, never go back to bed, never go back in just waiting around or on my phone or blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I would just wake up, take a shower, boom. Just easy peasy. And by doing that, it allowed me to wake up, shower, get all of the shit energy out of the way, and instead of feeling groggy, I need to get dressed after the shower. So in that case, shower, get dressed, and then next best thing, breakfast, and then start the day. So this simple, mega easy routine, which was just wake up, check the time, check the notifications on my phone. If there's anything important that I need to remember, I'll address it after my shower. Take a shower, get dressed, take some breakfast, and look at the notifications on my phone, respond to a few messages, talk to people, all that sort of stuff. And then start the day. And then check my schedule and start the day. So my biggest realization came from the fact that it was not actually that hard to wake up early just by myself. Like, I thought it was gonna be like super annoying forever to wake up early all the time. I did not used to be a morning person. I was always just a whatever person. I used to not really care, like unless I had something super important to do, or if I had to go to school, or if I had to go to class, or if I had to go to whatever, I then would wake up early. But usually I wouldn't wake up early. Like there was times where I would play video games like super late in the evening. In that case, I'd wake up at fucking 12 noon, time to eat food. Like what the fuck, like so yeah, not doing that again. But eventually I stopped trying to wake up earlier. And instead, I became someone who expected to wake up early, because all of these things, like all of these people, like they talk about like, oh, your morning routine is super important, da da da, and then sleep is super important, and when you wake up you need to take a cold shower first thing in the morning. I tried that, by the way, and it's actually kind of okay, but it's not like, it's not going to define your day. Okay, it's not going to make your day fucking 15 times better. Like, it doesn't matter. So what matters the most is feeling refreshed, clean, and ready. That's what's that is what has worked best for me so far. So basically what I do is I wake up, get my clothes that I prepared either the day before or in my closet, and that way I can just go take a shower, probably warm, probably very hot, so that way it just cleanses everything. It just not only deep clean, plus releases all your pores and all of the stress, anxiety, and whatever kind of I guess hormones and shit and that's going on, like when you're sleeping. It just flushes that out away, and that way you can focus on what's most important, which is starting the day strong. So instead of just focusing on being the kind of person that was, I guess, that cared about waking up early, I woke up early because I wanted to have more time, because it felt more correct to work in the morning for me. For me, the morning is the time where I'm the most productive, the most high energy. So usually what I'll do is I'll do as much as I can in the morning in terms of tasks. So that way, if I can put more time in the morning, then in that case it's better for me. Like, I'd rather go to sleep earlier and go, that way I can just like wake up super early, and then I can just work as much as I can in the morning. Like sometimes like I'll go to bed at like 8-9 p.m, wake up at 5 a.m, 5 a.m, doesn't really matter, and then I'll just get to work. Like I work on my business, I talk to people, I develop relationships. That's pretty much all I do every single day. I create content as well in order to not only document everything, but also to start growing this brand on this channel. So that's basically what I do every single day. Now, over the past 4 years, this has changed quite significantly. I've noticed a couple different things that are quite important when it comes to, I guess, having the right thing to do. Because like, before, I remember I used to wake up, check my phone, scroll, blah, 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 and get distracted and waste time. And then by just getting more, I guess, serious about business, it made me realize that scrolling and all these sorts of things, like, it's completely fucking useless to do that in the morning. So, and it just fries my dopamine at the end of the day. I just feel tired earlier, and my patience to do things just goes out the fucking window first thing in the morning, which is not a good thing because I'm focusing on work in the morning. So you could say that creating my own business and learning a high income skill has been the number one thing that has helped me the most when it comes to figuring out like what my morning routine / daily routine looks like and feels like, and how I schedule out everything. Because if I don't do that, if I don't take control of my time, I am completely disorganized, and I just end up, my tasks that I end up doing on a day-to-day basis, they take up much more time. Like usually there's a couple of tasks, like if I set the time ahead, like I plan ahead, usually what I do is every single evening I sit down and I plan out the next day. And if I can stick to schedule, the tasks are made on purpose for different blocks of time, and usually I can get all of my tasks done within those blocks of time, but I need to pour in as much time as I can in order to fix those things as fast as possible. Because as soon as I've fixed those things and I've solved those problems and I've moved forward, then I can start looking at what other things I can start doing. Or I guess more things, I'm always looking for more things at the end of the day, like to just do more things with my time or do as much as possible, because we only have 24 hours in the day. If you take 8 hours to sleep, then you take a couple hours to do workout plus eat plus whatever, then in that case you're left with like maybe like, I guess like, yeah, like 13 14 hours a day, maybe roughly, where you can pretty much do whatever you want. You might not be productive for every single hour of the day when it comes to all 16 hours without sleeping, but it really depends, because personally I've noticed that when I don't schedule out my day and I don't stick to schedule first thing in the morning, it usually goes in a quite different direction. Usually for me, it goes in the direction of complete disorganization. So I'm just trying to scramble to get all of my things done by the end of the day. So I'm just like, okay, so I've got this amount of time, because like instead of like having a block of time that is scheduled, it's like, okay, from this time to this time I'm going to be doing this task. Instead of doing that, I'm just like, okay, how much time do I have until the end of the day? I have this amount of hours. Okay, in that case, over the course of these amount of hours, I need to get all of this done. Okay, what do we start with first? What do we do first? Like, and then I start doing tasks like, okay, I need to do this, then I need to do that, and then I need to do this. And then I just do one at a time. Just like I focus on one at a time instead of scheduling out, okay, we're gonna do this from this time to this time. Instead of gonna do this first, when that's done, this next, this done, next, like next, and you do as many tasks as you can as fast as possible. Now, sometimes that second like disorganized way of getting things done for me hasn't really worked as well, because basically it allows much more for distractions or things to hop in the way, because you're under a time limit. Like it's not the same. It's like if you need to do all your tasks within this period of time, instead of you need to do your tasks by this time. Like it's completely different. It's like it's not the same. Like for me, this is much better because it allows me for this hour to focus on one singular task, instead of you need to do all these tasks within this time frame. It's like it takes a much bigger, it's kind of like when you actually think about it, it's kind of like having a mountain of problems and looking at it as like one big mountain, but when you actually zoom in, it's like a million different tiny problems. Because if you look at those problems one at a time, you can actually get them done and fix them much faster because they're smaller, right? Like when you have a big pile of shit, like a big pile of stuff, and you think to yourself, fuck, that's gonna take such a long time to fucking sort out, organize, and like filter through. But if you actually look at one item specifically, one at a time, you're like, okay, we're gonna put this over here, put this over there, put this over here, put this over here, and then you should start filtering through everything one at a time, one step at a time. And so by keeping this mindset, it allowed me to have a much more productive morning routine. So like for instance, when I'm not sick, now I've been sick for the past few days, so that's completely fucked my entire schedule. I had to rethink through everything that I was used to, because when I in the morning, I had this morning routine where I used to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it used to be super, super easy for me to get things done quickly. Now, the fact that I'm sick, I had to rearrange things, I had to reorganize things, and I had to completely change things in a different way, which I wasn't used to. So it allowed me to figure out a way to develop another system. And this is the only other system that I've found. Now, it's much far less productive, but it still allows me to get some work done every single day. So basically, that was a lot of stuff. So basically, if we actually start talking about how I experimented with sleeping and waking up early or going to sleep earlier, I did that only because I had my own business. I had a reason for it, and it made sense. Like I did not have to force myself, like, okay, we need to wake up early. No, I didn't need to force myself. Like by the simple fact of me thinking, okay, we have this to do by this time, by this, we got to do this at this time, then in that case, I just wake up on time and I just do it. Like, it's very simple. Like, I don't even need to think about it. Like, it's like, okay, I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to do this task, then I'm going to follow up with this task, then I'm going to follow up with this task, and then I'm just going to keep going through the entire schedule of the entire day. Now, if I show you my schedule here, like for instance here, I'll show you really quick. Boom, boom, very simply. Probably not gonna, it's not gonna be a very good camera angle, but basically we've got wake up, boom, at the exact same time every single day, right? And my biggest issue was that this week I was supposed to have a good schedule, but it was actually quite fucked up. So as you can see, I did not wake up at the same time every single day. Like, sometimes I had things to do. Sometimes I wasn't even able to respect all the schedule at 100%, which was the biggest issue I had. Was since I was sick, I wasn't able to do everything, which forced me to think outside the box. So my biggest problem with people that say, oh, you need to be disciplined, then in that case, you don't necessarily need to be disciplined. You just need to have the right ingredients in order to make it more natural, make it more easier on the mind. It's kind of like when you're in an environment that makes working hard completely normal and super easy, it's much easier to focus on working hard because everybody's working hard. What are you gonna do? Not work hard? What the fuck are you doing, bro? So this is the same thing. If you're in an environment that is completely crafted on purpose to serve you, to help you, then in that case, it makes it much easier because you're like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to do this. I don't need to do it, but I want to do it. So I'm just gonna do it. And then it makes it much easier instead of forcing yourself, oh, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. again. It's not the same, right? So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I want you guys to think for yourselves, okay, if you are a person that thinks, okay, why, like, I really want to wake up earlier. Why do I want to wake up earlier? Because maybe I've got a side hustle that I really want to like focus on. Then in that case, I recommend super heavily to focus on scheduling out your day. It's probably the most important part, because if you schedule out your day, you're just gonna start creating a routine for yourself, and then it's just gonna become normal. So go to bed earlier. Don't go to bed late, because in the evening, most of the time, people end up procrastinating, end up doing nothing, staying up late, drinking, partying, all these sorts of things that I never even did personally, because I always thought it was fucking boring as shit. So instead, I was the kind of guy who would, I guess now it's completely different as well, because I'm always focused on my schedule, but usually I'm the kind of guy who just stays up late watching videos, or stays up late watching a TV show or something like that, to just distract me or to make me tired so that I can go to sleep, right? Like, this is how I've changed, because like before, I've noticed that was what I used to do, and now what I do is like, I always check the time in the evening, and I'm just like, okay, am I tired? Am I tired? Am I tired? And then I check the time, okay, is it 9 p.m., 10 p.m.? If it's around 9 to 10 p.m., I'll be like, okay, I'll go to sleep and I'll read my book, and then once I'm tired, I'll just fucking go to bed. And that way, I don't necessarily have that block where I have a huge amount of screen consumption before going to sleep, which makes me feel like shit, more like shit in the morning, right? So that's basically all I have to say for like, what does that look like in terms of like sleeping and like waking up earlier? Like, for instance, today, I must have woken up at 6 a.m., no alarm clock, completely fine. Like, now I can wake up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., no alarm clock. Doesn't matter. Like, I know my own eternal body clock. So like, I know I only sleep around 8 hours. Like, on the dot. I sleep 8 hours on the dot. So usually what happens is if I go to sleep at 9 p.m., I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. Like maybe like 5:30. So like, if I go to bed at 10 p.m., then I'm gonna wake up at 7 or like something like that. It's very subtle, like always around that same block of time, right? Like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Usually I'll wake up around that time. So it really depends like what you want to do with your time, but I heavily recommend scheduling your time out. If you have something important like a side hustle or a business or something you want to start, or like maybe if it's even like something artistic you want to create, like maybe like write a book, paintings, I don't know, photography, doesn't fucking matter. The point is, if you want to have full control and ownership of your time, you will be able to do so much more things. And that's what's helped me the most, by just like figuring out my schedule. That is what helped me the most figure out how to wake up earlier. Thank you guys so much for watching. So I post videos every single day. If these are the kinds of videos you're interested in, let me know in the comments. And yeah, stick around, like, comment, subscribe. I post videos every single day around the same time. Now it has been a bit different over the past couple of days because I've been sick. So I've been switching around those times for uploads and so on. So stick around. I will see you again tomorrow. With that said, it's a beautiful day, so it's time to get back to work. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.